Hello everyone, welcome back to the most hardcore EAFC tactical content channel. In the last video, we introduced in detail the basic information of each player's data, as well as the characteristics of players in different categories, what kind of players are good players, and so on. In this episode, we will further introduce the player's skill in more detail. We have already mentioned some basic content about skills in the last video. I recommend that you familiarize yourself with the previous content before watching this episode. Regarding regular player sub-skill move slots. In the latest version of the game, the sub-skill move slots for regular players have increased from 3 to 4. The data for other class players remains unchanged from the last video. This update greatly enhances the utility of regular players, narrowing the gap with seasonal players. Calculation of skill momentum. It is directly calculated as a percentage of the in-match status. If the power without using the skill is 100%, then a skill with 235 momentum is 235% power. It's very easy to understand. There are 4 rarities for skills B, A, S and SS. The higher the rarity, the higher the skill's momentum, and naturally, the higher the consumption. FCT's skill naming rules differ from CTDT. In CTDT, each skill has S, A, B and C for rarity versions. For example, Tsubasa has South Flying Drive Pass, A Flying Drive Pass, and C Flying Drive Pass. Of course, there is also a B Flying Drive Pass in the database, but there is no way to obtain it in the game. In FCT, each named skill has only one unique rarity. First, let's look at SS rarity skills. SS level skills are extremely rare, currently only found on premium and icon players. Typically, only one player in each premium or icon pool is equipped with an SS level skill. Players with SS skills have a unique background effect in the lineup interface. All SS level skill momentum in the game so far is LV1 at 224 and LV10 at 260, regardless of player type, player, or skill type, they are all the same. In total, 13 players have SS skills, in chronological order. Among them, there are 5 shooting, 2 saving or punching, 3 passing, 1 dribbling, 1 blocking, 1 tackling. It can be seen that the current game environment still encourages offense, at least top offensive players have more choices. As for which of these top shooters, top goalkeepers, and top midfielders is stronger, as the FCT database is perfected, future videos will provide a detailed comparison. It's worth noting that among the SS skills of these 13 players, 4 skills have special effects. That is, after winning the matchup using this skill, you will get additional special effects. And all these 4 players are legendary, namely, Del Piero Line, Phantom Feint, Wall Breaker, and Close Quarters Duel. Finally, let's talk about skill consumption. Skill consumption is divided into several levels. First level, shoot, volley, header, block, 485 consumption. Second level, catch, 459 consumption. 1-2, tackle, interception, 443 consumption. Third level, dribble, pass, 339 consumption. Punch, 331 consumption. In actual combat, you don't need to understand the specific skill consumption data, but you need to have a basic understanding of which skills have high and low consumption. Next, let's look at S skills. S skills are mainly divided into 2 categories. The first category includes general skills with category all, or event-limited tags with category filtered by class 2, such as UCL, etc. The second category includes non-general skills with a special category filtered by class 1, such as seasonal, premium and icon. Skills with a class tag can only be learned by players with the same class tag. For example, all tag skills can be learned by all players. Skills with the UCL tag, PSUCL is class 2, can only be learned by players with the UCL tag, whether the player is seasonal or premium. PS seasonal and premium are both class 1. Skills with the seasonal, premium, icon tag can only be learned by players with the same tag, regardless of the player's class 2 like TOTS or UCL or others. UN Limited S skills. The biggest feature is, it can be obtained through regular players, shops, or events, including shops, rewards, paid, etc. That is, the acquisition channel is simple. Although the skill power is higher than other rarities A or B, it is lower than the second category of S skills. Generally, LV1 power, 179, 181, 182, 184, 185, 187 corresponding LV10 power, 215, 217, 218, 220, 221, 223. The data is up to the current game. The highest power is only 8 higher than the lowest power, which is 3.7% of the full power. The difference is actually not big. Compared with the power range of S skills in CTDT, which can range from 350 to 550, the strongest S skill is far superior to the weakest S skill. So, as I mentioned in the last video, the most important issue is having it or not necessarily pursuing it. Limited S skills. The biggest feature is, it only exists in the main skill move slot of non-regular players. PS non-regular includes seasonal, premium, and icon. The last video has already talked about it. Skills in the main skill move slots cannot be removed and are characteristics that follow the player. At least the current game design is like this. Whether all or part of the main skills will be opened for removal and learning in the future, or additional restrictions will be added, such as between the same players, is still unknown. I personally think the possibility is relatively small, and the reasons will be discussed further at the end of the video. All the second category S skills visible in the current game have a power of LV1 at 199 and LV10 at 235. There is no distinction between high and low. All player types, all players, all skill types are treated the same. Although I don't quite understand why the game is designed this way, it is what it is. At the highest level, the power of the second category S skill is 5.4% to 9.3% higher than the first category S skill, and 10.6% less than the SS skill. It can be seen that the second category S skill is still much better than the first category S skill, but the gap with SS is also very large. S skill consumption. The consumption of the second category limited S skill is exactly the same as the SS skill, which is divided into 3 levels: high, middle, low. This once again shows the superiority of the SS skill. Increase skill power without increasing skill consumption, increase quantity without increasing price. There is a unique exception in the entire game. The consumption of 1-2 is in the 3rd level, low consumption, and I am very confident that this is a numerical bug in the game. The consumption of the first category UN Limited S skill will vary according to the power momentum of the skill. There are also roughly 3 levels. The specific data is too much to list in detail. You only need to know that the consumption of UN Limited S skills is much lower than that of Limited S skills. This means that if you want to achieve more extreme skill power, you have to pay a higher consumption price. Then let's look at A-level skills. The overall design of A skills is exactly the same as S skills, which are also divided into UN Limited and Limited categories. For specific settings, refer to the S skill section, and I won't go into details here. First category UN Limited A skills LV1 power, 149, 151, 152, 155 corresponding LV10 power, 185, 187, 188, 191. The highest power UN Limited A skill is only 6 higher than the lowest power momentum, and at LV10 it is 3.2%, the difference is very small. Second category Limited A skills all powers are LV1 169, LV10 205. It is 7.3% higher than the highest power UN Limited A skill, and the increase is very obvious. It is 8.8% lower than the highest power UN Limited S skill, and 4.9% lower than the lowest power UN Limited S skill. Because UN Limited A skills only exist in the second main skill move slot of seasonal, premium, icon players and cannot be removed or replaced, if you teach the player the same type of S skill, try to feed the strongest S skill to get an 8.8% increase. If you only feed the worst S skill for a 4.9% increase, it will be very unworthy because the upgrade cost of a skills is much lower than that of S skills. This S skill is more prioritized to feed other players who do not have this type of skill. A-level skill consumption. The setting is exactly the same as S skills, which are also roughly divided into 3 levels, and the overall consumption is lower than S, and I won't go into details. There is a very interesting point. The consumption of limited A skills is exactly the same as the consumption of the lowest power UN limited S skills. So you can regard limited A skills as a slightly weaker, power is 4.9% less, S skill. Finally, let's look at B-level skills. B-level skills do not have a limited version, and they are all general skills with the category all. The power fluctuation of B skills is very large, unlike S skills that fluctuate by 8 power, and A skills that fluctuate by 6 power. For B skills, LV1 power, 119, 121, 124, 127 corresponding LV10 power, 155, 158, 161, 163 the arithmetic sequence with a difference of 3. The highest power B skill is 13.5% lower than the lowest power A skill, but the consumption is 8% higher. The consumption of the lowest power B skill is almost the same as the consumption of the lowest power A skill, but the power is 19.4% lower. So B skills not only have much lower power than A skills, but their consumption is also higher. This design is very unreasonable, resulting in B skills currently having no value at all. And because B skills have a very low initial power, and the growth space, LV10 plus 36 power, is relatively the highest compared to other skills, they cannot be used without investment. Finally, this table summarizes several projects. It's the power difference between each skill level. The 3 items on the table that are blocked are momentum percent compared with the next level, momentum percent compared with S limited, and consumption percent compared with S limited. In-depth discussion on skill design. Combining the above content and the discussion on players in the last video, I will talk about my views on the current skill design of FCT. I think the overall skill design of FCT is not complicated. The numerical design is completely formulaic and does not reflect the characteristics of the players, etc. This has both good and bad sides. In CTDT, each character has its own exclusive skills and skill library. The skill power will also be designed according to the strength of the comic character, which increases the immersion of the game. Of course, it also increases the diversity of game resources and the difficulty of collection. The skills of FCT are completely applied to kill rarity, class, etc., completely without reflecting the differences between players. For example, Holland's SS shot is 260, Mbappe's SS shot is 260, and everyone's SS skills, including future new players, are all 260. Except for different animations in the game, they are no different. This reduces everyone's expectations for new skills, and more focus will be placed on stats white value design. Then let's talk about the game's skill build. B skills are useless, and the basic design of A and S skills is exactly the same, which is a category of UN limited skills and a category of limited skills. SS skills can be regarded as S limited skills with higher power. UN limited skills and their levels belong to the important property of your account. They will never be outdated and will never disappear. They will only accumulate more and more as your game time increases. In the early days, you may be excited to get a new S skill for a regular card, but it is foreseeable that in the future, when all players on your court have a full set of LV10 S skills, obtaining more S skills or S skill upgrade props will be meaningless because it is already saturated. What the game planner needs to do, One is to lengthen this process and increase the difficulty and time cycle for you to obtain S skills and upgrade skills. The second is to add a new dimension after everyone's S skills are saturated, such as new S skills with higher power. But the problem with this is that it will break the current skill system. After all, the upper limit of the power of limited S skills and SS skills is there, and UN limited skills cannot exceed them. I still like the design of limited skills. They are fixed attributes that are bound to each character card, indicating that he is stronger than others in terms of S and SS skills. But I still have some doubts. Different people's limited skills have no difference in terms of value except for different names and animations. Different from the investment of UN limited skills, they will always be useful. The investment of limited skills is very limited to the life cycle of this card. When the combat power of this card is non-mainstream, the investment of limited skills on him will be completely wasted, and the life of the card depends on the speed of game data expansion. These contents will be discussed in more detail in the future video. So the investment of skills actually needs to comprehensively consider the relative relationship between the speed at which you obtain resources and the speed of game data expansion. If you get resources faster, then investing in limited S and SS skills is definitely the best choice. Otherwise, you can even consider investing in UN limited skills, at least they can be inherited to stronger players in the future. That's it for this video. I hope it helps you understand the skill design of FCT and how to invest in skills in the future. Thank you for watching, see you next time.